Hi and welcome to Crochet with Siska. In today's video, I'll be showing us how to make this beautiful Christmas hat. You can actually make it for any size, and I'm going to be making this for my little ones. I have this red yarn here and this 4 yarn. This one is made here in Nigeria. I got this off of AliExpress. Okay, and we're going to be making a beautiful Christmas hat out of this. I'm going to be using a 5mm hook for this tutorial. So the first thing I'm going to do is to create my magic ring. So I just insert my hook into the yarn like this and then I twist it around. Okay, so we have something like this, and I'm going to open whatever I have to have sort of like a circle. And what I'm going to do next is to pull my yarn through like this, and then I'm going to chain 2. So here is my first chain and right here is my second chain. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to do 6 double crochet in this chain in order for us to create our magic ring. So to do a double crochet stitch, I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook, pull my yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over again and pull through 2 loops. So I'll repeat this one more time. I yarn over, insert my hook, pull my yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over again and pull through 2 loops. So I'm going to repeat this 4 more times so that I have 6 double crochet in this circle. So after doing the 6 double crochet stitches, this is what I have. I'm going to insert my hook under the chain 2 as a guide for us, okay? And after doing that, I'm going to pull this yarn to tighten our magic ring, okay? We still have to tighten that some more. So after tightening it, I'm going to insert my hook under the chain 2. I'm going to pull my yarn through, pull it through this loop to close off this round with the slip stitch. So what we're doing right now is a slip stitch. And after doing the slip stitch, I am going to chain 2. So after doing the chain 2 here, I'm going to move to the stitch close to the chain 2. I'm going to do 2 double crochet stitches right there. So here is my first double crochet stitch, and then here is the second double crochet stitch. Then I'll remove my stitch marker from the under the chain 2 at the magic ring and move it to the first row. So I can actually do this without the stitch marker, but I just want to show you guys exactly what I'm doing so you're not confused. I move to the next stitch. I'm going to do 1 double crochet. So what I'm going to do next is to do 2 double crochet, 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet, 1 double crochet for the next 4 stitches. Remember that our magic ring has 6 stitches, so we're going to be doing this in 6 stitches: 2 double crochet, 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet, 1 double crochet. So at the end of row 1, I have 9 double crochet stitches. We're going to close this off by doing a slip stitch under the chain 2. So where my stitch marker is exactly, I'm just going to insert my hook, pull my yarn through and pull through this loop. Then I'm going to chain 2. What I'm going to do next is to do 1 double crochet in each stitch for the next 9 stitches. Okay, so here is the first one. This is row 2 now. I'm going to do this 8 more times in order for us to have 9 double crochet for row 2. So after doing the 9 double crochet stitches for round 2, I'm going to close this off by doing a slip stitch under the chain 2. I'm going to get rid of my stitch marker now. So here is my chain 2 here. I just insert my hook under it, pull my yarn through and pull through this loop, and then I'm going to chain 2. So we're going to be doing an increase round. Okay, we've done that for round 1. We're going to be doing it for every odd row or every odd round. So after chaining 2, I'm going to do 2 double crochet stitches in the next stitch. That's the stitch beside the chain 2. I'm going to do 2 double crochet stitches. So in the next stitch, I'm going to do 1 double crochet stitch. In the next stitch, I'm going to do 1 double crochet stitch. Now after this, I'm going to repeat this pattern 2 1 1. So come right here, do 2 1 1, and then do 2 1 1. And at the end of round 3, I should have a total of 12 double crochet stitches. So after completing round 3 with 12 double crochet stitches, I'm going to close it off by doing a slip stitch under the chain 2, and then I'm going to chain 2, move to the stitch beside the chain 2, and begin to do a double crochet in each stitch for the next 12 stitches. So after completing the 12 stitches, I'm going to do a slip stitch under the chain 2, pull my yarn through, I insert my hook, pull my yarn through, pull through this loop, and then I'm going to chain 2. So for this increase round, we are going to do 2 1 1 1. Okay, the previous one was 2 1 1, but this one will be 2 1 1 1. So I'm going to insert my hook into the next stitch, do 2 double crochet in that space. Okay, then I move to the next stitch, 1 double crochet, next stitch, 1 double crochet, next stitch, 1 double crochet. So 2 1 1 1, I'm going to repeat this sequence, and at the end of round 5 I have 15 double crochet stitches. I'm going to come under chain 2, do my slip stitch to close off round 5, then I'm going to chain 2, and I'll begin to do 1 double crochet for the next 15 stitches for round 6. So after doing 15 double crochet stitches for round 6, I'm going to come under the chain 2, I'm going to pull my yarn through and pull through this loop, and then I'm going to chain 2. So for round 7, we are going to do 2 double crochet in the next stitch, and then 1 double crochet in the next 4 stitches. So I'm going to do my 2 double crochet now, then 1 double crochet in the next 4 stitches. So 1 2 3 and 4. I'm going to repeat this sequence, 2 double crochet in the next stitch, 1 double crochet in the next 4 stitches till I get to the end of row 7. So at the end of row 7, I should have a total of 18 double crochet stitches. I'm going to close off round 7 by doing a slip stitch under the chain 2, and then I'm going to chain 2 to begin round 8. And for round 8, I'm going to do 1 double crochet stitches in the next 18 stitches. So after the 18th double crochet stitch, I'm going to close off round 8 by doing a slip stitch under the chain 2, and then I'm going to chain 2 to begin round 9, and I'm going to move to the next stitch. I'll be doing 2 double crochet stitches in there, and then 1 double crochet stitches in the next 5 stitches. So after doing my 2 double crochet stitches here, I'm going to do 1 double crochet in 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, then do 2 double crochet and then 1 double crochet in 1 2 3 4 5. Repeat that sequence like that till I come to the end of row 9. So I've come to the end of row 9, and at the end of row 9 I have a total of 21 double crochet stitches. I'm going to come right under the chain 2 and do my slip stitch, and then I'm going to chain 2 to begin round 10. And for round 10, I'll be doing 1 double crochet stitch in the next 21 stitches. So at the end of round 10 with 21 double crochet stitches, I'm going to insert my hook under the chain 2. I'm going to pull my yarn through and pull through this loop, and then I'm going to chain 2 to begin round 11. So for round 11, I'm going to be doing 2 double crochet in the first stitch, and we're going to do 1 double crochet in the next 6 stitches. Repeat that sequence, 2 double crochet, 1 double crochet in the next 6 stitches, and we should have a total of 24 double crochet stitches for round 11. So at the end of round 11, we should have 24 double crochet stitches. I'm going to come under my chain 2 and do my slip stitch, do a chain 2 to begin round 12, and I'll be doing 1 double crochet in each stitch for the next 24 stitches. So after completing the 24th stitch for round 12, I'm going to come right here and do my slip stitch, okay, under the chain to pull my yarn through, and I'm going to chain 2 to begin round 13. So the way the sequence has been going, you know that for every odd round, which is where we do our increase, that is for rounds 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, and 13, there is always an increase. Okay, there's always an increase in all of those rounds. And for what we have done so far, we'll notice that the stitch count at the even rounds is the same stitch count as the odd round below it. So I'm going to continue to do my increase round at every odd round. The next one we're about to do is round 13. And round 13 is going to have 2 double crochet in the first stitch, 1 double crochet in the next 7 stitches. We are going to repeat that sequence. Round 15 will have 2 double crochet in the first stitch, 1 double crochet in the next 8 stitches. Repeat the sequence all around. Round 17 will have 2 double crochet in the first stitch, 1 double crochet in the next 9 stitches. We're going to repeat that sequence just like that, and making sure that every even round following the odd round will have the same stitch count as the odd round below it. So I'm just going to continue like that. So I'm going to write what I'll be doing for round 13 up until I get to the desired length of this Christmas hat. So after crocheting to the desired length, this is what I have. So I have a length of about, say, 15 inches, and this is the part that got to the circumference of my baby's head, because I'm making this particular one for my baby, and the width right here is measuring around 7.5 inches, even though the circumference of my baby's head is 16 inches. This actually fits her head really well. If I should go up to 16 inches, that's 8, okay, 8 times 2, which is 16, it is going to be falling off her head. So this is quite okay, and I ended up at row 33 for my baby's Christmas hat. So if you want your Christmas hat super long for an adult, all you need to do is to continue to do your increase round at every odd row and repeat the same stitch count that you have in the odd row for the even row. So just continue to do that until you get to the desired circumference for an adult sized head. But if you don't want it, to get that long, this is what I'm going to advise you to do. In your magic ring, instead of doing 6 double crochet stitches, just go ahead and do 4, and of course go on to close your magic ring under the chain 2 that we have right at the beginning. Okay, so while repeating exactly what we did for this particular one, the only difference is that we have 4 in our magic ring, 4 double crochet stitches in our magic ring here, while we have 6 double crochet stitches in the magic ring that I crocheted for my baby. And after doing the 4 double crochet stitches, I'm going to chain 2. Then I'm going to do an increase round here, but the increase that I'm going to be doing for the first row here is going to be 2 double crochet in each stitch. So I'm going to move to the next stitch, do my first double crochet. All right, in that same space I'm going to do another double crochet stitch. So this is 2, and I'm going to repeat this the next 3 double crochet stitches, and at the end of row 1 or round 1 I'll be having a total of 8 double crochet stitches. And of course, after doing that, we have 8 double crochet stitches for round 1, 2 double crochet in each stitch. I'm going to come right under the chain 2, and we are going to do a slip stitch, and then we are going to chain 2. So for this next round, which is round 2, I'm going to move to the first double crochet stitch, and we are going to do 2 double crochet stitches in that space. Okay, so here's the first one, and in that same space I'm going to do another double crochet stitch. Then I'll move to the next stitch and do just a single double crochet stitch. So for this second round, what we're basically doing is an increase round of 2 double crochet, 1 double crochet, and repeating that same sequence of 2 double crochet, 1 double crochet for the remaining stitches. So at this point, we're just going to continue to repeat what we did here for this part, but the only difference is that the increase round is going to be in the even round because of how we started. And then the next round, which is going to be the odd round, we are going to do 1 double crochet in each stitch, making sure that the stitch count for that odd round is going to be the same as the stitch count in the even round below it. So I hope my explanation makes sense. And we are just going to continue to do the increase round like that, following the same principle that we used for this hat. Back to our Christmas hat, and here is the end right here. What I'm going to do next after doing the slip stitch is to pull my yarn through, so just like this, and we are going to begin to attach the 4 yarn. So I'm just going to come right at this point, okay, right after the slip stitch right here, okay. I'm going to pull up a loop. So I just pull up a loop like this, and then I'm going to chain 2. Basically, we're just going to do 1 double crochet in each stitch. Okay, so here's my first double crochet. I move to the next stitch. I'm going to do another double crochet stitch. So I'll continue to repeat this till I have 1 double crochet stitch all around the first row for this white yarn, this 4 yarn that we are working with. So I've come to the end of the row for this 4 yarn, and you actually need to make sure that the stitch count you have here is the same as the row below it. So what I'm going to do right now is to do a slip stitch into the chain 2. So you need to use your fingers to find where that is. So just insert your hook in there, okay, and I'm going to do a slip stitch to close off this first round. Then I'm going to chain 2, and what I'm going to do at this point is to move to the stitch beside that chain 2, and then I'm going to do 1 double crochet in each stitch until I get right back to where I started. Do my slip stitch. You can actually decide to end at row 2, or you can go 1 more row if you want the 4 parts to be a little bigger. Go 1 more row and repeat the same thing. If you don't have 4 yarn, you can go ahead and use white yarn to crochet this part. I decided to use 4 yarn because of the flair that it gives to the Christmas hat. So like I said, go with 2 rows or 3 rows. That is definitely optional. Just make sure that the stitch count is the same. Close off each round under the chain 2 and begin to do your double crochet stitches starting from the stitch beside the chain 2. So after getting to the last stitch at the second row, I'm going to come right under the chain 2, do a slip stitch to close off this round. And since this is where I am stopping, I'm going to cut off my yarn, pull it through, and then go on to hide the rest of this yarn. So once I hide my yarn, what I'm going to do next is to show you guys how I'm going to attach something that looks like a pom-pom to this. So right here is the yarn at the beginning of my crochet hat, and what I'm going to do is to tie this 4 yarn to it. So I cut this 4 yarn to about 2 yards, and that is what I'm going to use to make the pom-poms. So I'm just going to tie it taut around this part to secure both the red yarn and the 4 yarn. So I'm just going to do that one more time. I've passed my 4 yarn through a tapestry needle, and what I'm going to be doing is actually just passing the 4 yarn through the stitch right here. So because this yarn is 4y, it is going to create the pom-poms without giving so much hassle. So it's going to be very easy for you. Just keep passing it through the head, but as much as possible, do not pull it tight so that it will give you that puffy effect. Don't pull it too tight, just pull it loosely just around the top here. And I'm just going to continue to repeat this until I have exhausted all the yarn that I have cut out. So I just insert, pull, and you know, we have our pom-poms done. As simple as that. So guys, after securing our pom-pom part on this hat, this is what it looks like. If I'm going to be doing this for an adult, I'll be using about 4 yards of this 4 yarn so that it is a lot bigger. And I love how beautiful this hat turned out to be. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, kindly give us a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, turn on the bell so you get updates when I post new videos, and I'm going to be seeing you guys in my next tutorial. Bye.